Welcome everyone to another ROM Hack bonus play it through, as I'm playing through today Super Luigi The Forgotten Adventure from Googie, who I've actually done two previous ROM hacks of. He just recently put out a brand new one for Super Luigi, and that's what we'll be playing here today. It's another hack of Mario 1, as you can see, with some nice sprite work done for all of the enemies, giving them a little bit of a different look and feel, and it's a shorter ROM hack, being only 3 worlds to explore throughout, and the difficulty is relatively low in comparison to the previous ROM hack from him I did, which was Waluigi's Adventure, which was just unbelievably difficult to complete. Level number 2 goes right into one of the treetop style of levels, as we have to do our best to try to make some of these trickier jumps early on. There are a few mushrooms hidden throughout, but I actually ended up only finding a couple throughout the course of me playing through the game. This is one of the harder jumps, though, here, because the way that the, I guess, Koopa Troopa slowly descends, it's a little bit difficult to time it. You have to wait a few moments, and then do that big running jump so you're able to hit it. Wait here at the bottom of the stairs for these guys to kind of jump on over me before jumping over and hitting the flag. And even though it looks like I'm going into the castle, which is kind of funny because there's not even enough land there for the castle to fully sit on, world or level 3 starts right off at the beginning of a normal stage, more treetop style level at the beginning. It's not actually the castle until 1-4. I don't know exactly where the sprite work came from. I'm sure someone can point that out in the comments down below if you know where the sprite work or what it's supposed to exactly be represented. It's kind of a robotic kind of look to it, which, like I said, I definitely do like. 1-3 is a relatively short stage as we make it to the end, with the hardest part being the very small gaps between the platforms, and then jumping up to hit the flagpole and moving on to the first of the 3 castles we'll complete during this ROM hack. Wait for a moment, or do a running jump over the first piranha plant pipe, hit this block and you can get a mushroom. There's a lot of rotating fire to dodge throughout the course of this, so be on your toes. Pretty much every platform we're going to be going to potentially has another giant rotating flame that we can just kind of barely avoid, and do a nice little short timed jump. It was one of those things of running a risk of accidentally clipping the plant, but I was able to make it across this time. Thankfully, the fires that shoot out from the Bowser or Koopa, or Mech in this case, are visible. I haven't run into any invisible sprites like I did in previous ROM hacks, where I got destroyed by invisible fireballs. (2-1) is an underground stage that we get to start off in, as we'll try to work our way through. I don't know if you can actually get on top with a time jump or not, but either way, it's a relatively simple stage to kind of platform and work our way through. This is probably the harder of the Hammer Brothers. Wait for an opportunity to go under or jump over. Either way, you're going to be always making that risk, because a quick hammer can always come out at any point, but I'm able to get past it and over to the next side. Some nice time jumps between a whole bunch of these bouncing guys, and then have to make a big leap at the end in order to complete the castle actually underground, which is cool to hit the flagpole and have that castle located where it is. And I like the coloration, like the purple colors and all, for the platforms and the palette for that particular stage. Some bullet bills to deal with here. I like the sprite work on the actual bullet that gets fired, like a big giant missile. It even kind of looks like a goldfish cracker as it's flying out towards me. Wait for the right moment to jump over here past the rotating flame and then onwards to the castle. I also like that it gives you 9 lives to kind of start off with, which is a nice touch. Of course, if you get more than 9, it ends up, doing a little bit of a glitch out, as I actually have 10 lives currently. Be careful with the first jump here that I don't hit my head on the block and end up getting knocked down to that first pit. Just to the right of that, though, is a Hammer Brother, but on the top platform, there is a mushroom, or in this case, a fire flower, since I'm currently Super Luigi. And I can use this to help me out take out some of the enemies along this path, including this Hammer Brother if I need it to. Wait for the moments to get to the rotating platform, and then I kind of have to do a small jump. Thankfully, the platform was coming up enough that I was able to land on it safely as I work towards finishing up the stage. The second castle starts off, there's the bouncing enemies near the very beginning and another block that can give you a mushroom or fire flower, depending. Sometimes it's best to wait for these enemies to kind of come over before attempting to go underneath and avoid those rotating fires. Lots of them, as you've seen throughout. So thankfully, even though I could easily get hit at any moment for one of these, I did get that mushroom at the beginning, so at least I had one hit to work with. One of the enemies ends up getting stuck in a platform below, which is kind of funny just to watch him glitch out before finishing up the stage by jumping over Mecha Bowser here, or whatever it is, and moving on to the third and final world of this ROM hack. World 3 starts with a night stage. Pretty early on, there's another platform thing. You can get a block with a mushroom or fire flower, so keep in mind that. It's followed by another one just a little bit after. So definitely pretty lenient when it comes to giving you power-ups in this particular ROM hack. So relatively easy to be able to make your way through. Even if you have to make like a sacrifice, like getting a mushroom and then using that just to barrel through a tougher area. You should have plenty of power-ups to aid you. Always hard to use the springs because they're always going to be finicky. This is one of the trouble spots. I have to kind of go to the bottom and do kind of a little bit of a momentum run. Quick jump up to the top and then another leap. If I get just enough momentum, I'm able to make it. But if I don't have any momentum going into that jump, I will end up falling into that pit. Now 3-2 is basically a modified version of 4-1 from actual regular Super Mario. The modified Lakitu above, firing down all the various creatures onto me, but thankfully it's relatively easy to kind of run through. If there's any level I've played enough from original Mario, it's 4-1, just because of course the first warp takes you right there, and I'm very used to kind of doing the run and jump over the piranha plants even if they're out of their pipe. I always got used to doing that, so pretty easy to make my way through 3-2. Now 3-3 is an underwater level which just drops you right in. You don't have to watch the pipe animation of Luigi running into a pipe and then getting taken to this level. So it starts off right underwater. Thankfully I have the fire flower which will aid me taking out the blooper enemies so that I can easily kind of stay near the top surface of the water and not get sucked down into a few of the open pit-like areas down below. So, relatively basic level. Only at near the end do I have to kind of work my way down just a little bit past the one thing of seaweed before going to the pipe at the end. Right outside, though, there's a couple of small jumps, which would suck if you ended up missing these and ended up dying, but either way, pretty easy, and then we can move on to 3-4, which actually isn't the castle stage, as instead of going into that, you actually have another stage before we actually get to the castle, which is still part of World 3. Three, 4 is one of the tougher stages. There are some bullet bill cannons that will be firing and some other stuff that could potentially cause us to end up taking a hit throughout the course of it. Watch out for this hammer brother here. You can take him out, of course, if you have a fire flower, but you can actually make a nice jump to easily clear him since the platform that he's on is relatively low to the ground. And then we can finish up the stage right here at the very end, just a couple enemies, and then the flagpole, and now 3-5 is the final stage of the game. Start off the castle by running over to the right. Be careful not to go too far because there is a rotating fire, and you have to have perfect timing here. Right as the flame goes past, you can do a run, short jump, and you'll be able to get past the fire and be able to keep any power-up you currently have. More rotating fires to jump in between, but those first areas are definitely the toughest, as we then have only a few more steps before we end up making it to where the fire is going to be spewed out at us. Bowser here can throw hammers and shoot fire, so be careful, wait for that opportunity, jump, and clear this ROM hack. And beautiful poetry at the very end, as we have Peach telling us, we are the real hero. It's relatively short, but I still enjoy ROM hacks like this because they're actually beatable. They're not going to completely try to destroy us. Like that Waluigi's Adventure was one of the tougher ones I've actually been able to complete. So if you want a little just diversion for the day, go ahead and pick up this ROM hack. Of course, check out the link down below for all the details and take you to the page where it's located if you're interested in checking it out. But anyway, guys, that will wrap up this episode of Play It Through. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a thumbs up or commenting down below. If you enjoyed this ROM hack, be sure to check out some of the other ROM hack playthroughs I've done recently, including the extremely unbelievably difficult Waluigi's Adventure from the same ROM hacker who did this one, as well as the really awesome Captain Toad Treasure Tracker ROM hack that I did last week, which is a Super Nintendo hack of Super Mario World, but turned into the same gameplay as Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Wii U. I also need to thank all the members of my Patreon. Without your guys' continued support, I would not be able to keep doing what I'm doing, so thank you all so much. And I also want to thank you everyone for watching, of course, and I hope you enjoyed.